Okay, hello. So I haven't done a live in a really long time. So we're getting ready to cut out a pattern. Um, my front camera is not working right now, and I don't know why. Let's see. Oh, nope, still not working. Okay, so we're just gonna stay with the camera there. I'm about to join you guys in 1 second. But I'm gonna cut out a pattern today. Um, I only have an hour before I've got to go and take a shower and get ready to leave. So this is quite literally a power hour. Oh, wow, that is not what I wanted to do at all. Florence. Okay, so like I feel like it's been a long time since I figured out how to um to go ahead and actually like see like who's joining me and stuff like that. So I'm gonna make the Arthur pants from I think I'm gonna make the Arthur pants is what I should say. From of course, what is this by? Sew Liberated. Oh, hey, Naturally Lovely. Okay. Bear, listen, yeah, when I tell you that Bear is like getting on my nerves today, I really mean that. Okay, so while my computer is like taking a second to like warm up, let me go ahead. We gotta choose fabric. So I'm like, my pants are falling down for my like little jumpsuit stitch. And I know that I want to do another one of my striped pants, but I don't think that I'm going to do this red and pink. I do think I'm going to go ahead and go for this green and like blue color. Um, I got these both at the same time. Bear, no. Let's see. Oh, and this will be easy to see. I love this for me. So I've had the Arthur pants for a really long time, and I have not made them yet. I have no reason why aside from I just haven't. Move Bear. Oh, yeah. Bears on my nerves. Okay, so we've got our fabric up there. Let's just go ahead and go full screen with my projector in hopes that I won't have to do very much adjusting, if anything at all, on screen. Five. Okay. Oh, yes. And we're almost fitting perfectly. Let's go ahead and cut out this front piece, which does fit perfectly. Excellent. And I'm just gonna do the basic, like the elastic waistband. Um, I feel like I haven't made anything in a long time, which I'm sure is not the truth because, I really do be out here making stuff. But I do recognize that I have not, like, I don't really do as much sharing as I once did. In fact, today I was like, oh, I think I might record, my stitches and story time. But then I was like, never mind. I haven't gone live in literally forever. So, and when I tell you that this Sew Tight system is such a game changer, I mean it. There's a lot of ease that's built into this pattern. So I did not cut my size based off of my measurements. I cut my size based off of the finished garment measurements and how much ease that I really kind of wanted in the after. You know what I mean? because while I get that this is like an oversized pattern, that's not always what I want. Like, this fabric has a lot of drape in it, so I feel like it'll be fine, but tonight is open sew at the studio. So I am, in essence, making what I plan on wearing today. I think my rotary cutter, I think she needs a little bit of oil, y'all. Okay, so for our front piece cut, we need the side back piece. Oh no, that is the side front. Okay. That was the center back that I did? Huh. And so of course the style of this pant is for it to be kind of like a little um barrel leg style pant. That silhouette is really in right now, but this is an older pattern. And I kind of like that this pattern is older. It's National Sewing Month, in case you did not know. There's a couple of different like challenges that are happening right now. One of them is the like cut your good fabric challenge. That's being put on by Whitney from Tomcat Stitchery. And I do actually feel like this fabric could qualify because this fabric is from India. You know, and I do feel like I would be very distraught if these pants did not come out the way that I had envisioned it in my head, y'all. Not gonna lie. The only downfall to this fabric though is that it's 45 to the side front. Okay. Is that it's 45 inches wide. This has to be the front, not the back. Is that center back? That should does not look like that, is it? All right, let's see. Yeah. That was the center back. Okay, so I am gonna have to move it around to get this back. Yeah, we're gonna say a prayer that we can make fetch happen with this, yo. Not gonna lie. Oh. Possibly be doing a little bit of gymnastics here. I do wish I had pressed my fabric out beforehand. I didn't. I didn't realize that this had, like, you know how you look at seams and you're like, oh, okay, there's seam there, whatever. As I was like processing this pattern, I didn't really pay very much attention to how there's like center seams on the legs, right? on each of them, y'all. So cutting out 4 pieces of fabric for each of my legs was not on my bingo. On my bingo card. Okay, so now that we've got that cut, now we got to move it up so that we can, not by much. Let's see. It's like literally off maybe an inch. Not even an inch. Yeah, I don't even know if it's worth moving it. I'm just gonna bring that cut line down and connect our pieces. Okay, so this is the back. Then we just need the side back, our pockets, and our waistband. I've not made this pattern before, so I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. Side back. Here we are. Yes, Natural Sewing Month. Let me see. Hold on a second. Damn, I didn't mean to. There we go. Okay. Let's see. I'm coming over to answer some questions. What are we making? I gotta have a meeting. Bye, Florence. I actually feel like I show me using my projector off, or at least I used to. Galen, it's not really a huge learning curve. It's really just all about hand-eye coordination. Because I use a rotary cutter, but like I have seen people who, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get these pockets out. I have seen people who use their scissors with their projectors as well. I think that is bananas. But I don't think there was much of a learning curve for me. It's a good question though. I'm working on doing more lives again. I really used to enjoy going live a lot. I think I enjoyed it more before feeling like I had to. Okay, so listen, today I had some whey protein after I did like a little workout. And guys, I don't know if this is necessarily sitting so well in my stomach right now. It tasted really good. And so I was like, we're going to see essentially how this works out, right? Because I feel like if you are lactose intolerant, right, that whey protein does not always sit very well in your stomach. And I was just like, we're just gonna see. We're just gonna see how it does. I'm gonna omit my back pockets on this pattern. Not gonna worry about that. But we do have to get the other pockets. But I will say this, y'all. Your girl's tummy feeling a little funny. Oh, there it is. Or front pocket pieces. Tummy's feeling a little funny. Let's see. And if I can't get it out of this fabric, then I might just end up using a solid fabric because it's okay, I'm lying. I don't like to color black my pocket, so we're gonna try. Look at God. It's gonna fit perfectly. And we really did need for it to fit perfectly because I was thinking to myself, that these pockets are actually seam. Okay. When I tell you guys, I am so happy that my little pockets are fitting. We're gonna mark our notches. Okay. Now we just need our waistband pieces. We might even have enough fabric for those back pocket pieces. Still don't know if I'm gonna do that. Back waistband, we need one on the fold. Okay. Line it up. Line it up, up. I love this fabric because it's a cotton, right? But it is so lightweight that it just feels so nice on. And if I'm being completely honest, like buying fabric from India is my absolute favorite. Absolute favorite. Okay, move these in so that I can have space for my rotary cutter. There we go. Okay, so this is the back. So I'm going to put a little clip in it so that I know that it's the back versus the front. Let's see. Oh, good. We still have a lot of time left. Then we just need our front pull-on waistband. See if I can move that up. Nope, I can't move that up. Wow. Okay. I got something on my like there's something sticky on my cutting mat that I was trying to avoid, but whatever. Guess I'm not avoiding it. Right. So we've got our pattern cut out. Let's go ahead and turn off the projector and get to sewing. There we go. All right. Yes, whoop whoop, it is National Sewing Month. I knew that was gonna happen. Every time, y'all. Shift escape. Okay, well. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to sewing because yeah, we don't have much time. I do think that I'm gonna just go ahead and convert my machine so that it is. We're gonna come on over here. Come on over here. I'm gonna be using. Oh dang, it's not. Let's see. See if I can just mirror this because that looks weird, right? Nope, that's not an option. Oh no, that's to upload the video. Okay, I was trying to mirror it. I would say you guys know I'm a boomer. I'm not a boomer, I'm a millennial. But y'all, there's a learning curve when you do not use Stream IO for a period of time, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and set my combo machine up so that we can do a combo stitch. And with the combo stitch, that means that I will only have to use my serger. I will not have to like do anything separate for me to be able to have both a serger as well or an overlock as well as a chain stitch. This looks like this has reached the end, so we're just going to cut this off. I'm going to go ahead and use like a three strand stitch, I should say, so that way I don't have to use like a whole lot of extra thread. Here we go. I thought that by bringing it closer, that would help us out, but I feel like that does the opposite. So let's go ahead and choose combo stitch. We're going to do a 2-thread overlock with a chain stitch. I'm going to do it with a narrow one. And so let's see. I think I might just go ahead and use green in here as one of my threads. So we're going to go ahead and completely unthread the machine. So that way I can rethread it, and then we'll move over the things that we need to move over. So I'm going to do green as my primary, as my left stitch, my furthest left over stitch. And if you're like, well, why do it that way versus not changing them all? Because if I'm being honest, the furthest left needle is the only like thread that actually has the potential to be seen. So that's really the only one that needs to match, especially when we're using a serger. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop that on over there and then go through and rethread. This is the Bernina L890 machine, who needs to be cleaned because I use her often. And if you're new to my channel, her name is Bernadette. Yes, I've named my machines. I just got a new machine. I got the Burnett B08, and I was asking the peeps, I was like, yo, what should we name her? And you guys came up with some really good, really great options because I like alliterations. So I wanted my machine to, of course, have a B name to it. The B08, you guys came up with like Bobby. I kind of like that, giving us gender neutral, right? So I think we're gonna stick with Bobby for my B08. And I'm gonna do a tour of that machine as well as like some popular settings and some troubleshooting on that machine soon, because I do think that that's helpful. Like one of the reasons why I got that machine was because I had a student who was like, I'm really having trouble with this machine, and there's just not a whole lot of resources that I've been able to find. So I was like, okay, well, say less. I will get the machine and we'll create content. Like, I will go ahead and do that. She's a bag maker. And so the content that I create is not going to only be for bags, or for bag makers, I should say. We're moving this one to the right center. And I think that people will find use in it as soon as I'm done planning it out. I don't want to like lie and be like, oh yes, I've already planned out that content, because your girl has not. Okay. I am going to move over to my B77 to finish this up, because there is going to be, this is green. There is going to be something that we do need to do over there with that waistband with the elastic. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that over on that machine. And so I love the L890 because it is a combo machine. And so when we do a combo stitch, it really saves a lot of time. Some people do like to sew slow. I love that for them. I'm making pants because I need pants to wear tonight. Need, of course, it is definitely it's a word, right? I don't know if I necessarily need it per se. Hold on a second. Let me actually go ahead and there we go. How do we put that down? All right. So because I'm working with a lot of fabric, I'm going to pop my boogie board on here so that I can get some support. And guys, it's time to sew. That's right, Bobby. That's her name. And is it okay? So I don't want to mispronounce your name. Is it Chic? I feel like that could be it. So I'm gonna bring you guys on this side. Yeah, I've got to figure out how we can mirror image this because this looks so weird. Um, I'm gonna just have it show on the screen too. Yeah, I like that. I'm a slow sewer. And you know what? And I love that. I love that within sewing, within the community, right? We have so many options as when it comes to deciding how it is that we are going to there we go. Boom. We're back. We're good. I love that we have so many options when it comes to sewing for what feels good. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, Zena. Listen, we can't be coming up on here with different names, girl. Got me over here like Harper, who's that woman? Okay. All right. So this is our front. So we're going to work on our front pieces together first. So this is the front side. And then that is definitely the back curve. Let's see. Yes, that is the bottom for the back. Okay. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to put together my front pieces first. So that way I can go ahead and put my pockets in as well. So the beautiful thing about this here fabric is there really is no true right from wrong. For some people, that presents a really big problem. For me, I feel like it makes things easier. I will say that it does make it so that you have to make sure that you're combining things the right way. So here we go. Did I not set this up the right way? Hold on. Let's see. The girl did something wrong. So now we're going to just troubleshoot. It's funny because like I'll be teaching and people will be like, oh, I feel like nobody ever makes mistakes, which is far from the truth. I'm going to go through our guided mode and have them rethread me just so that I can kind of see what I did wrong with my threading. No unthreading required. We're already at 4. Yep, we're threading. Yep. Okay, so it's because I deactivated my upper looper. Okay. And I did that. Yep. Okay. So it was just because of my upper looper. All right. Now let's pop her back in and see if she's set up again. Yes, and that is what it was. And I'm going to show you guys what I meant by the combo stitch, giving me both my chain stitch and my overlock stitch at the same time. In just 1 second, as soon as I finish this stitch. And also, if you're like, hey girl, I really like this power hour, even though like you might be at work or something along those lines, definitely give me that feedback. Because if you guys are like, yes, we like this, I will absolutely include this. Because sewing live for me, it's like accountability. Because I will literally be like, oh, I want to make XYZ, but then I'll be like, distracted. Or I'll just decide to work on something else. But then when I go to my closet and I don't have what it is that I need, then I'd be like, damn, why didn't I make that? Okay, so when I talk about the combo stitch, this is what I mean, right? So when we're looking at this stitch, we've got this green stitch done. That is our chain stitch. And then it's already overlocked it and finished my raw edge. So I don't have to worry about any fraying. Zena said, girl, it's been my YouTube name for a minute. You have to do a better job of keeping abreast of what's going on. Received. I received that, sis. I received it. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to make sure that we do the opposite. Let's see. I am such a visual person that I've got to have my pieces out in front of me. And when we're working with fabric that does not have a true right from wrong side, we run the risk of having an increased margin of error when it comes time to making sure that we have not made 2 right legs or 2 left legs, you know? So tonight at the studio that I teach at, we're doing an open sew. Which I love. Like, I love open sew nights because we get so many people who come in asking questions and, looking for support or just looking for community. And I think that community is something that is so important. All right, so now that we've got both of our fronts together, we're going to go ahead and do our pocket pieces. Let's see. No. Okay. And so here's our pocket pieces. And I like doing pockets like this because like everything is included, right? So we know that there's normally like two pieces for the pocket. This one gives you one and you just simply fold it over. And I think that creates ease within doing your pocket. And in full disclosure, I don't know if this is the order that the designer has, essentially called for, but I don't, not saying that this is a flex, but I don't tend to follow, the directions. It's just who I am as a person. Oh, yes, this looks so good. And so I did mark my notches at the top, and so I'm folding this. Um, I like this when you're talking about books and sewing. Yes. Okay. That's what I need to hear. So this right here is my notch that I'm going to fold over to, and this is the notch that I'm going to line this up with. So I am going to go ahead and clip that together so that way it stays that way until it's time for me to get my next stitch in. So I just finished reading this book called The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today as we finish up these pair of pants. It's 1:37. We're making excellent time. So it was such a cute book. I did not know what to expect. Um I forget the author's name. I'll definitely look up the author's name and include it either in, the notes, or if I can remember before I let y'all go. But um it was a slow start for me, and I initially was going to not finish it, but then Jen from Cactus Needle, that's her name on Instagram, um, was like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to start reading this book." And I was like, "Girl, shut up. I just started it." So I decided to finish it because anytime someone is reading the same book as me, I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're in a book club now." Is that the truth? No. But that's actually how my husband and I started dating, because he was reading a book and I was like, "Oh, well, I'm going to invite myself to read this book too." And now we're married. So I feel like it does work out for me for these long-lasting relationships, dare I say. Anyway, so she decided that she was going to read it too, and so I finished it, and it was hands down one of my favorite books of the year so far. And of course, this is after reading some really great books. I feel like this has been a really great book year for me. I've gotten into some different genres and really fallen in love with some things. Like I did not think that I would ever be rooting for a serial killer's love, and I was this year. But anyway, the Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping is very whimsical. Like after I was done reading it, I felt like I had just like it felt very much so like I just sat down for a great cup of tea, and like it was, I don't know, it was just like a feel good book. Does that mean that there was a happy ending? Absolutely not. That's not what happened here. But what did happen was um really great underlying messages and stuff like that, right? So in this book, it starts out, obviously we're talking about magic, we're talking about witches and stuff like that. And so this book initially starts out where the main character, whose name is, what is her name? Main character's name is Sarah. And so Sarah is a witch, and she's super young in the beginning of the book, and she's like this really powerful witch, and they're like, where did she get her powers from? So her parents decide to ship her off to her aunt, who lives um in an area where she lives in like the area where the witches council is, so that Sarah could learn about her powers, learn how to use her powers and everything like that. Okay. But Sarah's aunt, Jasmine, ends up dying. And Jasmine was like, "Oh, absolutely not. Like, you cannot die on me." So she performs a forbidden spell, which was to bring her aunt back to life. Now, because she performed this forbidden spell, she had her magic was not stripped of her, but she in essence kind of um used so much of her magic that it kind of teetered out on her. And so then that's the end of like the prologue or whatever. And so the book is really a deep dive into kind of what it looks like for her to get her magic back. But the cool thing about this is that she had put this spell accidentally on the inn. So the inn only allows people in who in essence need to be there. So you can't get to the end unless you are wanted there or unless you need to be there, which is a really cool spell to put on. Okay, so our front pieces have been prepped and done. We're moving on to our back pieces now. And I was like, that is really cool, right? Because how many of us, I feel like even now when we think about it, right, how many of us could really afford to in essence live or take a breather in a space that would just allow us a moment to breathe, right? Or allow us a moment to kind of get back to where we needed to be. And I just thought that that premise was a really cool premise. And so we meet these characters who become like her family. And she kind of, her character stands for doing like the right thing, um, and have being bold and being someone who stands up for like the underdogs. And she's just like this really bold character. And she doesn't think of herself as being nurturing or motherly or anything along those lines. But in truth, she becomes just that. And as the book continues on, she kind of meets her love interest in the book. I didn't think that there was going to be any sexual scenes in here, but y'all, Sarah was getting it on with a handsome Scottish guy who was also around her same age and like knew of her when she was at the school before she lost her magic. And so it just details her kind of, I don't want to say getting her lick back, but her getting back in essence at the chancellor of the school who hated that she was so powerful because in this book and in these stories, like powerful witches were in essence like kept in the family. So like they knew all of the kind of in essence all of the lineage of powerful witches. And so because she didn't come from a lineage of powerful witches, this guy just kind of felt like she did not belong. And so I loved that in the book, you know, we learn about and details. Oh, this looks so fantastic. Just kind of course her trials and tribulations and her learning about um herself and her finding her voice and realizing that magic is not the only thing that makes her valuable. And I of course love that because so often we feel like the basis for who we are or we are not good enough unless, right? um and we tend to minimize our power unless it's recognized by someone else or unless we have, you know, extra powers or unless we can provide, unless we have a lot of money, unless we're, you know, so beautiful, unless we. And so I loved how this book really rushed through feelings of betrayal. We didn't rush through feelings of happiness. We didn't rush through, you know, and in the book, we've got characters who are of different like backgrounds. So there's a character who is autistic, right? We've got characters who are lesbian. We've got characters who are navigating issues with their parents. And I just loved that these characters had so many character flaws and it still made them really beautiful in this book. So that is, and then again at the end, I don't want to say there wasn't a happy ending, but it wasn't a happy ending in the traditional sense of, and they lived happily ever after, right? Like I felt like it was a satisfying ending by the time that we got to the end of the book. Boom. Okay, so our second back piece is now done. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and make our legs. We're just going to do it in the traditional sense of putting our back piece to our front piece right sides together, and then putting one leg inside the other. Just keeping it simple. I feel like these pants are aligned with like a little clown core, and I'm subscribed to it. Like I love striped pants. Now, on pants, I do normally do like a full booty adjustment and things like that. I did not do any adjustments on this pattern. I did not feel like it was necessary because they said that the crotch was already dropped really low. So I thought that that would be enough. So we'll see. I do feel like it is probably going to be fine. Here we go. And as a rule of thumb, I do not like to use pins at all whenever I sew on a serger, just because I remember one of my girlfriends who I actually need to call because I need to do my taxes, judge someone else. Um, but I remember her when she got her first serger, she was like, "Oh my God, I got a pin stuck in my serger," and um, it ended up breaking her knife, and the pin went flying all over the place. And I was like, "Well, this sounds really dangerous." So now when I teach like my serger classes, I'm like, "Listen, we do not use pins, okay? Pins are a definitive no-no." Okay, so we've got one pant leg completely done. Let's go ahead and line up our second one. This came together beautifully. This morning, I ended up writing a book, or almost finished writing this. Easy. It's going to go out to all of my paid Substack subscribers, and in it, it is an e-zine on how to read patterns. And I told myself I wanted to really begin to do a better job of like documenting my classes that I teach, whether at the studio or just like period, because I do think that it's very, very valid and everyone learns differently. So some of us are just like, oh no, I just need to be taught in person. And that's what sinks in. While some of us are like, I need a book. And so of course it's, more geared towards people who um, are beginners, but I just have to get back into that practice of writing, period. And I was like, this is a good start. Really excited. And like my goal in sewing, and especially when I go live, is to not like show that people can't do it. It's really to make it so that it feels like it's way more accessible, you know? Like, I really want for people to look at my content or like watch me sew and be like, oh yeah, I can do that because she just did that. And yeah, as opposed to being like, oh, I could never, or that looks too hard. You know what I mean? Um, and like I know that people have such a love-hate relationship with patterns. I too am that person who has a love-hate relationship with patterns as well. But learning how to read a pattern was so freeing for me in my journey. So I just flipped one leg right side out so that I could tuck it inside of the other pant leg. And we're just, again, putting our right sides together so that we can sew that crotch curve. Um, but yeah, I always want for my content to scream, oh, wow, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like starting out with the thing that was probably the most challenging for me, which was learning how to read patterns. Hey, Miss Carol. Oh, my boo, Brooklyn Timmy. Um, let's see. So we're gonna nest our center seam, even though like that center seam is not gonna be very bulky. I do still nest my seams. Whew, Chile, that's a lot of fabric, y'all. I sized down an awful lot for this pattern, and if you're just joining, this is the Arthur from Sew Liberated. And I opted to size down. I think I went down 2 sizes because of how much ease is built in. And I do actually feel like I could have gone down a little bit more for kind of more of what I was looking for, but I decided not to. Okay, so now our pants are basically constructed. The last thing that we need to do is add on our waistband. We've got 5 minutes left, and so I feel like we are making fantastic progress for our power hour. Okay. I am still going to label my back. I don't know if it matters because, again, I haven't made this pattern before. So we're just going to keep it cute. I am about to whip out my, going to go ahead and whip out my elastic because did I say that I was going to do the elastic on the B77? I did. And I don't know, we might end up top stitching it. We'll see how I feel. But one of the things that I like to do with my elastic is, of course, I cut my elastic so it fits my waist. Um, I'm doing the elastic waist. It's my first time using it too. Okay. So here we've got elastic, and I hope that you guys can see me because I can't. I don't know what was going on with my front camera. Okay. So I'm just going to raise you guys up because I'm going to assume that you can't see me because it's too low. But I'm just going to go ahead and measure around where I intend on wearing it. I'm not going to make it too tight because I do feel like I tend to do it. I like mine to be more firm. So this is where it is relaxed, and I want it to be just ever so slightly tighter. Um, and so now we're just going to go ahead and set that up to be our within here. So to do that, and I don't even know if this is the right, yeah, this is going to be good. So we're going to hold all of our fabric together. So like this, I've got my elastic here. And so I'm just going to bring my elastic to the opposite side. So we've got like a little sandwich stitch. And then I'm just going to fold the other half over. I'm going to make sure that it's all lined up like that was folded over. So I'm going to unfold that. Everything is lined up. I am making sure that my elastic is kind of sandwiched more at that halfway point. Okay. Here we go. And I am going to sew this twice because it is going to receive a lot of tension going around my waist, going up over my booty. And so I just want to make sure that it's in there as nice and tight as it could be. And so now when I flip it out, my elastic is on the inside of the fabric. And so I don't have to do any kind of extra steps. So now I'm going to just go ahead and pop my boogie board off because again, we don't have much time. We don't have much time, y'all. I'm going to line up this back. And then also I feel like when I do it that way, it takes out that step of having to thread through my elastic and then, like it removes those steps. Now, the only time you can do this is if you are not going to be putting in like a drawstring or anything like that. If you do ever intend on putting drawstrings in, this method will not work for that. So. Okay, let's go here. Now, I should have gone side to side with how I'm installing this, but I didn't, and I'm just remembering that now. It's too late to make a change, so we're just going to keep going with it. I ended up lining up my back seam with one of the side, essentially my side seam, so whatever. It is what it is. And so I'm just trying to move my strands so they get cut off. I do also like to do that because it, less things for me to do. So I'm just going to move my elastic so that it gives me a little bit more space so that I don't feel like I'm having to fight fabric. We're getting to this pocket piece, which we want to be laying flat. So now we're just getting everything lined on up. Clean it off. Okay, so it looks like, boom. See, I don't know what happened right there, but reseal that. Okay. Trim everything down. Okay, so the only thing that I have left to do is hem it, but let's go ahead and just try this on to see how this is looking. Since I've got on leggings, I can just pull this up over it. Oh man, I love these. Oh wow, these are so cute. Okay. So one of the other things that I was checking to see is if I felt like it needed like doing kind of like some stitches. And here we go. This is how they look. Which, guys, I really am loving. So again, I sized down like 2 or 3 sizes. Loving it. Loving the fit. So all I have left to do is hem. And that's it. Okay, friends, that's it. That's all. So that was Power Hour for today. We sewed up the Sew Liberated Arthur Pants out of a lightweight cotton from, where is this fabric from? From India. I got it from an Etsy shop. And yeah, this was fun. So we'll keep this up. And I would say like tune in the same time next week. But I don't know if we're gonna do the same thing next week. We're playing it by ear at this juncture. But make sure that you turn on bells for whenever I go live. And I will check y'all on the flip side. Thank you so much for joining me.